Good evening, everyone. I'm Kubrali, and you're watching Awaz News. Tonight, I'll be taking you to top news across Canada.
Ontario won't make staycation tax credit permanent despite calls from industry. Police warn public after man attempts to lure girl into a vehicle in Scarborough. Flu season may have peaked, Ontario's top doctor says. Ontarians unvaccinated against COVID-19 may be more at the risk of traffic crashes, steady fines. Toronto to open 3 warming centres tonight, everyone accepted despite referral rumors. City. Duckport's government doing poor job on most issues, new survey finds. Winter weather travel advisory in effect for GTS winter storm dumps snow and freezing rain on southern Ontario.
These were the headlines, and now let's go through the details.
Ontario's tourism minister says the province won't be extending the staycation tax credit for another year, despite the hard-hit industry recommending the move as a way to help it recover from the pandemic. Neil Lumsden, the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport, says in a statement that the province temporarily introduced it for the 2022 tax year to spur pandemic recovery for the tourism, hospitality, and culture sectors. That will end this year, but Lumsden says the province is supporting the sector in other ways, including $48.1 million for festivals and events and $19.1 million in support for regional tourism organizations in 2022-2023. A joint report earlier this week from the Ontario Chamber of Commerce and the Tourism Industry Association of Ontario said the sector won't fully recover until 2025, suggested dozens of ways the provincial and federal governments could help. Those recommendations included permanently keeping the staycation tax credit, which allows Ontarians to claim 20% of eligible accommodation expenses such as hotel or campground stays in order to encourage local travel. Green Party leader Mike Schreiner says the progressive conservative government is abandoning the tourism industry. Toronto police are alerting the public after a man allegedly approached a girl and tried to lure her into his vehicle in Scarborough. The suspicious incident happened on Monday between 8:30 a.m. and 8:45 a.m. in the Cliffside area near Kingston Road and Midland Avenue. According to police, a 13-year-old girl was walking southbound on Chine Drive, just south of Glenridge Road, when a man she did not know drove up to her in a car and attempted to lure her into his vehicle. The girl did not comply. The suspect, who is described as brown, with short black hair and unshaven, drove away southbound on Chine Drive in a white SUV with a hatchback. He was last seen wearing a white shirt. Investigators are asking anyone who may have video surveillance footage of the incident to contact them. The City of Toronto will be opening 3 warming centres Thursday evening out of an abundance of caution as a winter storm hits the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. Located at Metro Hall at 55 John Street, Scarborough Civic Centre at 150 Broad Drive, and Mitchell Field Community Centre at 89 Church Avenue in North York, the centres will open their doors at 7 p.m. The downtown site can accommodate up to 45 people, while the one in Scarborough has 17 spaces. The third warming centre in Willowdale has room for 50 vulnerable individuals. Typically, Toronto's warming centres are activated when the city's Toronto's medical officer of health declares an extreme cold weather alert based on a forecast from Environment Canada that is minus 15 Celsius or colder, or when there's a wind chill of minus 20 Celsius or colder. According to the city, anyone in need of the safe and warm indoor space is welcome to stop by one of its warming centers to rest, have a snack, use the washroom, and get a referral to emergency space in the city's shelter system. However, those working directly on the front lines say the protocol for accessing a spot is unclear. On Thursday morning, longtime community health worker Lauren Lamb contacted the city's central intake line to confirm if the rumors she recently heard about people needing a referral to access a warming center were true. Lamb, who works at Regent Park Community Center, recorded a phone conversation with Central Intake where she was told community members had to go through that process to access a warming center. City spokesperson Erin Whitton said that directive is incorrect. Lamb said this unnecessary confusion will harm people experiencing homelessness. Whitten said, anyone who arrives at a warming center that is full will be offered a ride on a dedicated TTC shuttle bus to another location. That service will run until approximately 2 a.m., she noted. Ontario's Chief Medical Officer of Health says the flu season may have peaked in the province. Chief Medical Officer of Health Dr. Kiran Moore believes flu season hit its apex in recent days and says there has also been a slight decrease in respiratory syncytial virus or RSV. Respiratory illnesses have overwhelmed children's hospitals across the province over the past 2 months, with the flu accounting for the bulk of recent admissions at many of the country's pediatric hospitals. Major pediatric hospitals have cancelled surgeries in order to redeploy staff to help out intensive care units and emergency departments. Moore says there has been a sharp decline in hospitalizations among children for all respiratory illnesses across the province. He warns that RSV will persist and present continued pressure on children's hospital. Those getting around the GTA today are being advised to leave themselves extra time and to pack their patience as a messy winter storm moves in on the region, making travel conditions messy. If you don't need to drive, I know lots of school buses and classes have been cancelled. A lot of people working from home. This is one of the days today and tomorrow stay off the roads. Ontario Provincial Police Sergeant Kerry Schmidt said, "Let the system pass, and it's just not worth it if you don't actually have to be out there." A number of collisions have already been reported in areas where freezing rain warnings are in effect, including a 17-vehicle pileup on the Garden City Skyway in the Niagara region, and conditions are expected to get messier throughout the day. The winter storm moving through the region is expected to dump a mix of messy winter weather on the city, including freezing rain and as much as 15 centimeters of snow. A winter weather travel advisory is in effect from Environment Canada for Toronto and most of the southern Ontario. Snowfall and freezing rain warnings are in effect for many parts of the province, include some areas around Toronto. Environment Canada said York and Durham regions could see as much as 15 to 20 centimeters of snow, while freezing rain warnings are in effect for Burlington, on Oakville, Hamilton, and Niagara. We have seen significant freezing rain in parts of Midwestern Ontario, CP24 meteorologist Bill Coulter said Thursday. He said the precipitation will continue but change throughout the day. It's been 6 months since Doug Ford was re-elected Premier of Ontario, and according to a new survey, his government is getting a frosty reception on majority of issues. The data released by the Angus Reid Institute on Thursday suggests Ontarians believe the Ford government has performed poorly on all major issues with the exception of its handling of COVID-19 pandemic. About 81% of respondents said the Ford government was doing a poor job on health care, while 78% said the same cost of living. The survey suggests about 80% of Ontarians also believe the Progressive Conservatives are doing a poor job in housing affordability, a file the government has been prioritizing since they were re-elected. About 49% of respondents say the government did a good job with its response to the pandemic, while 46% say they did a poor job. 4% said they were not sure. The survey comes as Ford's approval rate continues to drop. A separate Angus Reid survey released on December 7th suggested Ford's approval rate sits around 34%, making him one of the lowest ranking premiers in the country. It also represents a 11-point drop since the June election. The rankings were calculated on the heels of the controversial few months involved in negotiations with education workers and the government's use of the notwithstanding clause. According to the most recent data, Ontarians primarily blame Ford and Education Minister Stephen Lecce for the dispute. About 45% of the respondents say the blame lies with Ford, while about 41% place the fault in Lecce.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Until then, good night.